guys follow One FC at all? I believe they're called One Championship now, One FC. I always just knew them as One. And I used to get up at like 3 in the morning. They were fighting out of Singapore. Ben Askren was headlining a show. I'd find a feed online. Come on about 3 in the morning. So now they're coming to North America, and I can tell you, from their athletes, they're great. From their production, outstanding. But they are coming in with a very hard, traditional mixed martial arts stance, which I believe culturally and geographically, I believe that they're very on point in parts of the world. As they're trying to break into North America, and they want to talk about the honor of martial arts, and they want to talk about the history, and most importantly, they don't want the trash talk. They don't like it, and they don't even want it. They're steering away from it. I want them to do well. I don't predict that they won't, but I would imagine they're going to have a hard time telling stories here. There may be in parts of the world, and I trust this to be true because their arenas are sold out. When I was watching Ben at 3 a.m., boy, there was 10,000 people in a 10,000 seat arena. In some parts of the world, largely because of supply and demand of fight, you can get away with the punching and the kicking. I can recall times right here in North America where you could get away with the punching and the kicking. The first one to ever say anything a little tiny bit off color was Tank Abbott, and it was shocking news when he did it. The second and third one to ever say anything a little off color was Tank Abbott, and it was shocking news when he did it. It was a ton of fun, and it moved the needle. And people talked about it, but there was only 5 shows a year. Then it grew, and it got to where there were 6 events a year. And then Pride started with a presence, and they were doing 3 shows a year. Now all of a sudden, you're getting 9 shows a year. Whoa, as fight fans, we are spoiled. But you still didn't need the storylines. You just didn't. You set up that ring, and you let a basically anything goes. People are going to tune in and watch. There's just something to see there. Absolutely there is. Now, in North America, it's different. So I trust in Asia, if they're getting away with having a storyline, trash talk, if they're getting away with it, I trust they don't have a whole bunch of competitors over there. They must be dominating the television space. They must be one of the only shows. I don't even know, but the only way that that recipe works is supply and demand. If your supply is low enough, you can kind of control the product you put out. Look, in North America, it's not like that. It's extremely competitive. We must have a storyline. We must. Without drama, there is not business. The punches and the kicks are not enough anymore because we just get too much of them. Bellator is putting on, 26 shows this year? That's every other week in a 52-week calendar year. UFC is putting on 53 shows in a 52-week calendar year. I don't know what week they put on shows, 2 shows in 1 week, but somewhere they did it. Point that I'm offering for you. We're just spoiled. There's a lot of fighting. And MMA is completely different from other sports. Other sports have a schedule set ahead of time. Ravens versus the Rams. Steelers versus the Chiefs. There's no room to build heat. There's no need for a storyline, but there's also nowhere to build it in. What if the Bears have some kind of a conflict with the Seahawks? Who gives a goddamn if they don't meet each other on the schedule? What would be the point of interviewing the head coach of the Bears who hates the head coach of the Seahawks if you're not on each other's schedule? If you are on the schedule and you've got a legitimate beef with each other, let us all in on it, and then let's go play the game the way the game should be played and tip our hat to the winner, and the loser has to go home with egg on his face. That's compelling. We get it. It's basic. It's simple. But that's what sports are supposed to be. We go to work all week where we have to think and slug and dig it out. For sports, we want to sit, flop, veg out, and be entertained. In the fight game, we do not need to shy away from the fact that the punches and kicks are not enough and have not been enough for a meaningful period of time. You will fight for 15 minutes. To build that fight up, you will take 90 days, hours, every single day. Just like you do with training and preparation. You will take 200 hours to tell your story, and then in 15 minutes, you will bring a conclusion to that. There is a reason that the talk and the buildup is 200 hours and the match itself is 15 minutes. The stories do matter. I want them to be able to tell their stories. I am curious how they plan to do that if we are sticking with a traditional martial arts standpoint, which is based around honor and respect, which largely means you keep your mouth shut.